The deeper and deeper I get into this shit, you realize that fashion is just constantly imitating somebody else. Walking into this, I knew nothing, so I didn't know that. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I started Born and Raised, is because I started seeing lots of I started seeing streetwear brands kind of copying my culture, like being from Venice. And I've seen a lot of streetwear brands kind of like coming and taking that and calling it their own and selling it. And I was kind of like, hey, what the fuck's going on, man? Like, you're not from Venice. Matter of fact, you don't know anything about our culture. So I kind of cooked up Born and Raised, like, hey, we were born and raised here. So we know about this place. And you don't know really why this place is the way that it is. So like, let me properly explain it. I kind of tried to shine a light on the people that really built the culture that I think most people are attracted to. You know, do I take offense to when people try to sell our culture? Absolutely. You know, it kind of like, it rubs me the wrong way. It's like cultural appropriation. So I try to tell our story, and like, I'm speaking up for a lot of people. So I try to tell my story as respectfully as possible, without exploiting anybody, because I see a lot of exploitation. But like I said, you can't have the good without the bad. I'm a little bit more, I sway from side to side with it now a little bit more, that I've been in the industry for like 5 years. In the beginning I was kind of like, fuck this, like this, fuck that shit, this is how it really is. But like, you have to take a step back and look at fashion in a whole, and kind of like what people are doing and why they're doing that. With Born and Raised, it's like, it's our story, and I never really touch on anything that's not directly tied back to like our story, our lives, our friends. And I think that people can tell that it's like a very authentic story, and that we're very, like, I'm emotional as fuck about it, you know what I mean? And I'm very passionate about like our culture, and because like growing up where I grew up, that was like the most important thing, was to be able to say like, I'm born and raised here. It's just like, me and him were like, yo, we'll never run out of content, because like, we're literally just telling the story of our lives, So like, it's not an art project. It's not just about Venice. It's not just about Los Angeles. It's not just about East Los or Boyle Heights, because that's where it's going on right now. It's a weird time right now. Like, I think here in Los Angeles, I think the weirdest ever that I've experienced, because like gentrification, it's a process. And then finally, when everybody gets pushed out, it's like, each city has its own identity, right? Like, Venice looks this way for this reason, and Boyle Heights looks this way for this reason, and Montebello looks this way for this reason. So it's like, they're kind of like extracting people, and then they kind of sell it back to the consumer as like a prepackaged lifestyle. Like, yo, come move into Venice, where we just kicked everybody out, swept them under the rug, and we're gonna say this like kind of like edgy, boho chic, artistic, criminal. It's like weird. So I think that everybody grows up somewhere. Everybody goes to high school somewhere, and like, that kind of happens to a lot of people. And it's like, I'm very, very proud of like where I grew up, and I think a lot of people are proud of where they grew up. They kind of figured out ways and laws to kind of like police us out of there. Like, you guys don't belong here anymore, and they found ways to kind of run us out. Like, just a group of us could be hanging out, and they put this thing called a gang injunction on us, which is just like, they target a bunch of families in like a neighborhood that they want to, gentrify, and then they compile a list of kids, family members, stuff like that, and then they find a way to criminalize you for not doing anything wrong, but kind of just where you grew up. And if you look at, they've done it all in LA. Like, that's why Highland Park is like that now, Echo Park is like that now. And I just think it was a very unfair way to treat people. In a perfect world, I would just make all this cool shit, and I would just give it to my friends for free, and I would pay my friends. But unfortunately, that's not the way the world works. So you just have to find a happy medium. I never charge the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Because I'm speaking up for us, and I try to employ as many people here as possible that I can, that I can keep under my roof. Like, if you look at it, like, Born and Raised is about people. So I try to like share that with everyone. We'll be 5 years old June 22nd, right? Because we launched Born and Raised globally June 22nd, 2013, to like Union, Colette, all these really good stores around the world. And that was June, and then the very beginning of August, I was diagnosed with terminal cancer. So literally the whole lifespan, I had 1 month of Born and Raised where I was not fighting cancer. So literally this whole time, I've been on my, like, not now, but like I've kind of been on my deathbed, you know, like I had type T lymphoblastic leukemia lymphoma, which my doctor said, you have like a 95% mortality rate. He's like, you're basically dead. So he's like, what I can do is I can give you as much chemo as humanly possible. I'm basically almost gonna kill you in hopes that you come back to life. So the whole lifespan of Born and Raised, I've been fighting cancer, which sucks. I mean, we designed the second season from my hospital bed. Like Two-Tone came in with Omar, the little dog, our mascot, and we literally designed the next season while I was like plugged up with all these chemo machines. So I think if I didn't have Born and Raised as like a silver lining, that shit really kept me going. Like I was really just chasing after it the whole time. Like, man, I just can't wait to get healthy. I just can't wait to get better, man. Like as soon as I get better, as soon as I finish all this chemo shit and I get back to normal, man, I'm gonna fucking crush the game. You know, so like literally like that shit probably saved my life. Cause if I didn't have something to chase after, I might have just lost hope. I might have just given up. Sitting at home by yourself on chemo for 4 years, that shit is dismal. That shit is depressing as hell. So I'm very, very thankful that I had this and to continue to work on everything, you know, and kind of tell my story while I'm fighting cancer. Kind of just like, it kept me really, really, really fucking strong and in a good place. So I'm thankful for all of it, man, because I went and got diagnosed and, you know, tomorrow could be different, but right now, today, I'm okay. I keep in the middle of it. I was like, this is gonna drastically change me as a human being. Not so much. Like, like I wish it did. I'm still the same asshole that I was before I got cancer, you know. But it did kind of help me prioritize my life in the way that I should now. I kind of feel like, you know.